record or oh,
I got
got
it.
it. Thank you. All right, I'm gonna share my screen. Oh, can everyone see my screen? Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Hi, welcome to the Sundown webinar, like Austin said. I guess a quick introduction. My name is Stephanie. I am a third year, being a first year transfer as a structural engineering major at UCSD, UC San Diego. My current position is District Service Chair, and my past positions were Pierce Vice President of Service, Pierce Vice President of Administration, Metro FAM Head, and Metro LTG. So to start off, what is a district service initiative? Well, a district service initiative, they are proposed yearly by the district service committee, and we approve them as a district board. And usually they are the focus on our terms. So there's 2 that maintain, and there is 1 that rotates. And it is achieved through the collaboration of service officers and members from all throughout the CNH district. Okay. What are our district service initiatives? Well, the first one is serving the environment. The second one is community wellness and equity. And the last one, which is the rotating service initiative, is youth development. For serving our environment, with climate change being a prominent issue nowadays, our individual actions may have small effects on the overall changes our planet continues to undergo. So we should increase awareness of what we can do and what we can collectively I forgot to finish that line, but we can collectively plan for like service projects. Our next one is community wellness and equity. So to support and serve our home schools and communities, and to work with organizations that focus on the direct communities they are a part of or through the Kiwanis family. And the last one is youth development. So strong fundamental in a child's early years will provide building blocks, educational, mental, and economic success. So to do so, we can host or create literacy or academic events within our local schools, or have mentorship programs with our Kiwanis family. So we also have international service initiatives. So as you notice on the screen, our district service initiatives kind of correlate to our international service initiatives. So there's childhood development, environmental justice, food insecurity and homelessness, and also mental health. So some potential projects for club, division, and district may be like having a school supply or book drives or classroom wish list, since that'll focus on youth development. You could host literacy or academic events at your local youth schools. So like you can ask your local elementary school and say like, hey, can we do like a reading event with some of the kids there? And they usually say yes. So you can do that as well. You can advocate the importance of childhood development. You can build or find community gardens, renovating homes for homelessness, make or donate clothing to homeless shelters, and lastly, mentorship programs with Kiwanis families, such as like Key Club, Kiwanis, etc. So where to find the service projects? Because that's the first step. A lot of people use volunteermatch.org. Yes, it's super helpful. I use this all the time. Another thing could be going towards your local food banks. They will always need people. Churches always have events as well. Your believe it or not, your club Kiwanis advisors also have a lot of events. So just ask them, and usually they'll have events already. So you could also have those. Another way to find ideas could also be on the Circle K International Service Initiative site, which is the link on the screen. Likewise, again, you can ask your local youth schools. And lastly, you could create like your own tabletop service, such as like food backpacks or dog toy making. Another important thing about service projects is CERF-ing. So like, I know CERF-ing isn't like probably something that comes in the back of your mind, but you always need to focus and make sure that you fill it out correctly, because that affects our data as a whole for the district. So make sure you double check with like the correct tags that you need to fill out on the CERF. And if you have any questions about it, oh, someone in the chat. Oh, hello. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, and if you need any questions with it, with like about the service portion of it, I'm always here to answer those as well. So I guess this slide is mainly to talk about like what would count as a service hour. So minutes of uncompensated volunteering that benefits a charitable and or non-profitable organization. Money generated must be donated to a charitable entity. Events must be properly advertised to the entire club as a Circle K service event, and work must be done obviously voluntarily. And then if you want more info about this, it's on the service database and also the CNH district operating procedures. I guess we could start off with like, what can you do for service projects? So you could have a service marathon. This is pretty popular when it's when the pandemic was happening specifically. So with youth development being our rotating service initiative, you could still actually have like events like service marathons online, such as like there's the UNICEF for math. You can do like other events as well. Maybe you can organize something with like an online reading service project with like your local elementary school. So you could do a service marathon like that, but typically they start pretty early, they end pretty late. But there's just multiple events happening or multiple service events happening at this one time. And usually they're interclubbed as well, and it just overall brings the whole club together. So with youth development being a rotating service initiative, I decided that we should also talk about event report forms. So event report forms are super, super important when you want to kind of like inter-club or I don't know the word, but you know, like have events with key club or Kiwanis. So basically, it's a form that must be completed and approved before an event can be publicized outside of immediate club membership. So where can you find the event form? You can, or event report form, you can find it on the cnhcirclek.org website, and then the resources tab, and then the district files, and you'll see it right there. But basically, it's to ensure like, oh, all the advisors could know like what's going on with the event and are making sure like nothing bad is going on. But ERFs must be sent to Kiwanis and faculty advisors. And then if it's non-home division / SLPs, you have to send it to all region advisors and district administrators that are going to be involved. And then the ERF must be submitted at least 3 weeks before the proposed event. So make sure that you are proactive with planning. So yeah, and usually you want to include like the itinerary of the event, and then if there's like an attendance fee, if that's a thing, and then if it's a charitable fundraiser where the money is going, and also like the budget and anticipated revenue. And then this screenshot is basically like what permission you would need from your following like Kiwanis for like their permission in terms of an event report form and like who you would need to send it to. So types of service projects, there are continuous service events, single service projects, and tabletop projects. So a continuous service project or event is an event that has been completed within the same organization repeatedly at least like once a month. A single service project is one main cause on a larger scale, and a tabletop project is usually something that you can easily make on a table, like like art and crafts, like dog toy making, DIY bookmarks, or motivational cards. Continuous service projects, to go more in depth with that. So if you want to establish one, usually you have to stay within like the same organization and likewise repeat again within like months per month. This usually gives like a good reputation for your club, and it also gives you like a backup event because it's something that you'll always have per month. So an example could be like your local soup kitchens, creating a mentorship or reading program with your local elementary schools, working with the animal shelter, collecting excess food from local farmers markets, and donating it to homeless shelters or elderly homes, park or beach cleanups, etc. For single service projects, planning a single service project usually requires a committee. So usually clubs have a service committee along with a service chair. So usually you need to think and plan this event from scratch, you definitely want to know who will come to your event, so you could create like a form for that. And usually you're going to have a single focus for the service project, whether that is our service initiatives. And examples of that could be like at a fair, which could focus on health, safety, literacy, etc., or carnivals, building a community garden, school or park beautifications, or 24-hour marathons. For tabletop service projects, you can find actually a lot of ideas on Google or Pinterest, but common ideas that, once again, I've said that you would usually see are like dog toy making or like literacy cards. And sometimes to like make it a bit more interesting, you could turn it into like a contest. And if the project is a little more complicated, the first person or group to finish can win a like prize. Or that's it. But if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you could raise your hand or type in the chat if you feel comfortable. And there's my contact information. And yeah. Oh, what's my favorite DCI? DSI? My favorite DSI? That's a hard question because all of them are equally important. But if I had to choose, I would probably choose youth development. Yeah. Any questions? I can't answer that. I think all the LTGs are wonderful people and I love them all equally. Heart to all of them. Most memorable service event? I guess for me, since I am going to be a following third year, all of my service events have actually been online. So for me, it would just be service marathons because coming from a smaller club, it definitely helped membership with the smaller clubs. Oh, yes. Hi, Matthew.
Hi, Stephanie. So my question is sort of pertaining to like it's something that I wanted to help my key club out. I just recently graduated high school,
Oh,
club, and I wanted to like give back by like helping like my key club that I was a part of
mhm.
for like I guess maybe like college or like having them know more about Circle K because I didn't really know much about Circle K going into this.
Mhm.
So I was just wondering like would that require like an event request form and stuff like that for
Uh,
your ongoing project?
Oh, right. Okay. So it typically depends on like what the event is. From what I'm aware of with my local key club as well, when I was in LTG, we had RTC, which I think you're probably familiar with that too, because key club. So I had to actually present at RTC, and that gave a lot more recognition for Circle K. But if you want to create like your own specific event, then yes, usually you would need an event request form unless your local Kiwanis, like your club Kiwanis, plans it with that specific key club. Like if your club Circle K is connected to the same Kiwanis as your key club, then you wouldn't need an event request form because usually they'll create an idea for you and an event for you.
Okay, thank you. That was really helpful.
Hi, Matthew. This is Yada. I'm actually a Citrus Regional Advisor and also Stephanie's advisor for service. Another way you could do is just like what Stephanie did say, but maybe a key to college. When you do in whatever club you're going to as a Circle K-er, a lot of the clubs do key to college, and they actually invite the key clubs and key wins, and that's a great way to connect. But you can also do service there too, together. But like she said, it's easier if they're in the same division or the same club. If your quantities are the same same advisor. They advise both the club Key Cup and Key Cup Kiwins or Circle K. The Kiwanis could host an event where you don't need to do earth form at all.
Thank you very much.
Are there any other questions? Oh. Okay. If so, I'm assuming there's no more other questions, but if you do have questions and you're just